if you look at the rest of the auto industry, I would expect some of these companies are going to go out of business as we transition to electric and autonomous technology, because not every automaker is going to be successful. Certainly many of them are behind today.
When your money is making money, you can spend your money and keep it too.
Hi, I'm JC. Welcome to my channel. General Motors finally released all the information about their brand new Hummer electric truck. So I'm out here sitting on my mom's original 1968 Chevy truck because we've got to talk about GM. It has become very clear to me that the company that makes this super reliable vehicle is not the same company making trucks today. And I'm pretty sure that if they don't change their ways, General Motors is definitely going to go bankrupt. And it's not because they're so far behind Tesla, they can never catch up, because they are. It's because I don't think they know what they're doing. So before we get started talking about the Hummer and the soon-to-be extinct General Motors, if you would like to hear more about great companies to invest in and some companies that aren't so great, or you would like to learn how to become a better investor, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any content. First of all, the good news. This truck is beautiful and it looks just like a truck. It seems very practical and sexy and tough and all that, except for two things. It's perfect.
The quiet revolution begins with a nearly silent all-electric propulsion system that offers 1,000 horsepower, 11,500 pound-feet of torque. And for the brave souls who dare to engage watts to freedom, the thrill of accelerating 0 to 60 in approximately 3 seconds.
Seriously, if it wasn't for the range and the price, this truck would be perfect.
Introducing the world's first all-electric supertruck, the revolutionary GMC Hummer EV. With no limits, no emissions, and no equals.
Since the Hummer claims to be a super truck with no equals, it seems more than fair that we compare this vehicle to the Cybertruck. Most often, when the mainstream media compares a comparable vehicle to a Tesla, they show you something like this. The most expensive Tesla compared with the cheapest, whatever kind of vehicle it is. Of course, at Spend Your Money and Keep It Too, we try and be a bit more accurate. Any good comparison starts at the top. So here we have the top of the line Hummer versus the top of the line Cybertruck. So right off the bat, we have to talk about the price, because the Hummer EV Edition 1 comes in at $112,595. Who came up with that price anyway? The Cybertruck is $69,900, which means that instead of buying a Hummer EV Edition 1, you could buy a top-of-the-line tri-motor Cybertruck with a 500-mile range and buy a Model 3 and still have $4,705 left in the bank. Obviously, these are both extremely expensive cars. You're not going to buy either one of these vehicles unless you have money to burn. So let's look at the features. Cybertruck comes with a 500-mile range and 14,000 pounds of towing capacity. And it has a 0 to 60 of 2.9 seconds. Now, the Hummer EV Edition 1, 0 to 60 in approximately 3 seconds. I'm going to give that to them. I'm going to say that's a wash. 1,000 pounds horsepower, 11,500 pounds of torque. I don't really know what to do with that. That's not the same as towing capacity. So those stats are a different area. So we're going to make that a wash too. Then we come down to range. Now for almost 113 grand, you get 350 plus miles in range. I can't help but be a bit skeptical because the non-Tesla trucks always seem to end up with a shorter range, not longer, once they get EPA ratings. whereas Tesla Cybertruck does have an EPA estimate, 500 plus miles. It just seems to me that for 113 grand, I feel like I need more mileage than that. Let's move on to the next comparison. We got two 3-motor vehicles here. The Hummer EV3X, starting at $99,995. Available in fall of 2022. Comes with a 800 horsepower, 9,500 pounds of torque, and an estimated 300 plus mile range. Where the Cybertruck, 69,900, 500 mile range, and 2.9 seconds 0 to 60. They don't mention the 0 to 60 on the Hummer EVX 3X, but we're still looking at price. At this rate, I could still buy a Cybertruck and like a Powerwall for the price of the Hummer EV. Moving on, we now have the two most comparable vehicles so far. The Hummer EV2X, which is a 2-motor electric vehicle, and the dual-motor all-wheel drive Cybertruck. They both have 300 plus miles of range. The Cybertruck has a 4.5 second 0 to 60. And they don't mention the 0 to 60 on the Hummer EV2X, but I'm going to assume it's still decent. I'm going to say it's still probably 5 seconds, which is great. And we come down to price again. I mean, Hummer EV 2X, $89,995. Tesla dual motor all-wheel drive, $49,900. And finally, we come to the best deal from both companies, starting with the Cybertruck, weighing in at $39,900. This Cybertruck comes with a 250 mile range with a 0 to 60 of 6.5 seconds, which is twice the speed of my Prius. And the Hummer EV2, which comes in at $79,995. It is 2 motors though, so that's cool. Help you get out of the mud. And there's some other features in there. And the one thing that I almost didn't notice, but has actually made me the maddest, is that the most affordable version of the Hummer EV2 is not going to be available till spring 2024. That's 4 years from now. 4. All 3 Cybertrucks are going to be selling before this vehicle has their cheapest, most affordable version available. And if you go back to the first truck, you look at the high-end one, it's sold out. You can't even order that now, which means that the EV Edition 1, they're hardly making any of them. What are they making? 2,000 trucks? I mean, it's sold out in a couple hours. I mean, come on. Cybertruck has over 500,000 reservations, and it's not sold out. It's like GM doesn't want to make these vehicles. And it's so expensive. Who are these for? I've heard it said on another channel that people who love the Hummer brand and the Hummer name will buy this vehicle. And I'm like, I would agree with that. However, this truck does not look like a Hummer. This is a Hummer. I remember when Arnold Schwarzenegger famously made his Hummer electric. I wish we could buy Arnold's vehicle. If General Motors was smart enough to just do what Arnold Schwarzenegger did when he turned his Hummer into an electric vehicle, it's gorgeous because it's a Hummer and it's electric. This is like a Chevy Avalanche. As I look at the statistics on this vehicle, I think back to when I first heard about this truck. It was during the Super Bowl, and GM had a great ad with Michael Jordan coming out talking about making a vehicle that's going to change the world. And then right at the end of it, all they showed was the grill of the vehicle. It went Hummer. And I'm like, yes. It seemed so cool to me because the Hummers were so hated by ecological people. I mean, there were Greenpeace people torching Hummers in parking lots. It was horrible. And just to have the Hummer become the icon of clean energy just seemed brilliant to me. I couldn't believe GM thought it up. But they weren't smart enough to make it look like a Hummer. It was just like the Godzilla movie made in the United States. We weren't smart enough to actually have Godzilla. We had some imitation lizard. And that's what I feel like this vehicle is. It's like a hyped up Chevy Avalanche. It doesn't look like a Hummer. GM is spending a ton of money to convince people that they're working on electric vehicles and they're going to be fantastic and compete with everybody and they're going to rule, rather than just spending money on developing the technology right now. I mean, there are plenty of things they could have done. Tesla didn't just show up out of nowhere at the last second. All the patents for the original Model S are open source. All you had to do was copy what Tesla had done or buy somebody who could do it when you had the chance. Like Rivian or Fisker or who knows what. You could have done something, but at this point, all you came up with was Nikola? Really? GM, I was sure that Ford was going to go bankrupt or be absorbed into another company before GM. But now it's a toss-up. I can't say for sure. Because you can't fix stupid. It has been common knowledge for quite a while now that the world is moving towards renewable energy. All forms of transportation will eventually be clean and emission-free. And automobiles are going to be first. You would think that a giant in the automobile industry would be aware of this. Tesla's rate of innovation is so fast, it doesn't even seem possible for a regular company to catch up. I'm always listening to experts on channels like CNBC, and they always seem to dance around the issue of how is it going to be possible for other automobile companies like Ford and General Motors and Chrysler and Rivian to make hundreds of thousands of electric vehicles if they can't make hundreds of thousands of batteries. And one of them's like, well, obviously, Tesla is going to have too many batteries, and they will sell or lease them, and the other auto companies will take these batteries and motors and put them in their own cars and then sell them as great electric vehicles. What? If you think about it, that's not a solution at all. If you are Ford or General Motors or Chrysler or anybody else, and you have to buy your batteries and electric motors from Tesla, how are you going to compete with Tesla? I need to clarify something. I'm not saying that it's not possible for another electric vehicle company to survive and flourish. What I am saying is that it's going to be extremely difficult for the legacy automobile companies. You know them, Ford, General Motors, Chrysler. They're going to be dragged down by all their gas engine network of stuff. I can already imagine the union striking when GM is trying to fire the people that make transmissions because they don't need transmissions anymore. And they have this machine that just makes cars and sells them to dealers who can't sell the cars because nobody wants gas cars anymore. We're moving headfirst towards a future where it will be illegal to sell gas-powered cars. How long do these companies want to wait before they make the transition to electric power? They're trying to stall it as long as possible. They're just having big press events to make it look like they're doing more than they are. These companies thrive on yesterday's technology. They are way too set in their ways, and they are doubling down on stupidity. Every company that wants to survive has to start copying what Tesla has been doing, and they have to start now. They have to copy the vertical stack, the way they make cars, everything they can do to emulate what Tesla is doing. That's what they need to do. It's the same thing that happens over and over every single time a new technology disrupts an industry. When Ford showed up with his assembly line, every single automobile company that refused to use the assembly line, bankrupt. When Apple invented the smartphone, guess what happened to PDAs and non-internet savvy phones? Bankrupt. Now that we have the iPhone, how many boom boxes do you see people carrying around? And it's not just transportation that Tesla is disrupting. It's energy and energy storage. The Megapacks work. I think we're seeing the end of peaker plants. And eventually solar power is going to take on a larger and larger percentages of our energy needs, until a time when oil companies produce a mere fraction of the power that clean energy generates. I imagine that 20 years from now, we will be buying cars from companies like NIO, Fisker, Rivian, possibly some version of Toyota, and of course, Tesla. But if you are an auto company that continues to double down on what it's done for the last couple of 100 years, it's been nice knowing you. Again, I find myself making a video where I really truly hope that I'm wrong. If 5 years from now, General Motors has a fantastic electric vehicle that's competing with Tesla, and it's maybe the number 2 or 3 selling truck in the nation, that'll be fantastic and I will love it. But I'm sorry, sometimes you have to be right. So what do you guys think? Do you agree with me or do you disagree? Please leave comments down below. Are any of you guys out there going to order a Hummer? And if so, which one? Or were you planning on ordering a Hummer until you saw the price? How many of you are ordering Cybertrucks? And which one are you going to order? Personally, I ordered 4. I ordered 1 dual motor, which is going to be my personal vehicle. And I ordered 3 single motors just to be a robo-taxi / delivery business, which I figured could make me some extra income, providing that the robo-taxi network is in effect before I have to actually pay for the vehicles. This whole thing makes me a little sad, honestly. General Motors was a great company, and I love their vehicles. In addition to the 1968 Chevy truck, which has been in my family for pretty much my whole life. I have a 1984 Pontiac Trans Am, which I love. Leave your comments. Thank you for watching my video, and please come back again. And remember, when your money is making money, you can spend your money and keep it too. Do not buy or sell any stocks just because a YouTuber like me tells you to do so. No, get your information from lots of sources and do your own due diligence, because it's your money. You really need to make up your own mind. Thanks once again, and on your way out, if you haven't already done so, please hit that like button, subscribe, the bell, and I'll see you next time.